Some men build their own prisons, brick by brick, with the very words they speak. Not with grand declarations, but with quiet, almost invisible phrases that, over time, erode their strength, their peace, and their potential. You've heard them. Perhaps you've even said them. These aren't just verbal tics. They're subtle signals that a man has stopped seeking growth, stopped embracing challenge, and started settling for less. The ancient Stoics knew the power of language. Epictetus warned us, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And your reaction begins with your words, with the internal dialogue that shapes your external reality. In this video, we're not here to condemn, but to illuminate. We'll expose 6 common phrases that diminish a man's spirit, often without him even realizing this silent damage. And more importantly, we'll uncover the timeless wisdom of what a truly wise man says instead. Because your language isn't just sound. It's the blueprint of your character. It either elevates your soul or shackles it. If you've ever felt the quiet regret of words carelessly spoken, this journey is for you. Let's break the silence before misguided words do more harm than any external adversary ever could. Let's begin with one of the most insidious whispers of resignation. I don't have a choice. It sounds like an acknowledgement of reality, a humble acceptance of fate. But underneath, it's often a profound surrender of agency, a refusal to explore alternatives, a tragic acceptance of victimhood. This is the language of a man who has outsourced his destiny, believing external circumstances dictate every step, rather than seeing himself as the architect of his internal world. Think of Michael, a man trapped in a job he loathed. Every day, he'd mutter, "I don't have a choice. I have bills to pay." He never explored new skills, never updated his resume, never even considered a lateral move. His life became a narrow corridor of obligation, not because options didn't exist, but because he refused to see them. His conviction that he had no choice became his self-fulfilling prophecy. The Stoics would profoundly disagree. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, understood the immense pressures of life, yet he powerfully declared, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This isn't naive optimism, it's a profound truth. While you may not control the cards you're dealt, you always control how you play them. The wise man understands that true choice lies in his response, his attitude, and his effort. So when that feeling of being trapped arises, instead of "I don't have a choice," a wise man asks, "What is my best possible response to this situation?" This reframes the challenge from a dead end into a problem to be solved, an opportunity for growth, a canvas for ingenuity. It shifts focus from external limitations to internal power. Next, we confront the subtle thief of aspiration. "It's too late for me." This phrase often emerges when dreams are dimmed, when opportunities seem to have passed, or when the weight of past mistakes feels too heavy to overcome. It's a quiet capitulation, a self-imposed sentence to a life of unfulfilled potential, disguised as practical realism. It's the voice of regret that paralyzes future action. Consider David, who always dreamed of learning to play an instrument or starting a new hobby. In his 50s, he dismissed these urges with, "Oh, it's too late for me to learn new tricks." His children learned, his friends tried new things, but David remained stuck, haunted by the ghost of what could have been, simply because he believed the clock had run out on possibility. Seneca, himself a man who continually learned and adapted throughout his life, offered a powerful counter. As long as you live, keep learning how to live. The Stoics believed in a continuous journey of self-improvement, regardless of age or circumstance. Every day is an opportunity for refinement, for growth, for becoming a better version of yourself. The past is unchangeable, but the present is always fertile ground for new beginnings. Instead of surrendering to the illusion of "it's too late for me," a wise man asks, "What small step can I take today to move towards what truly matters?" This question reframes ambition from a daunting mountain into a series of achievable steps. It shifts focus from past limitations to present possibilities, recognizing that progress, no matter how small, is still progress. This brings us to a phrase that chokes humility and stunts growth. I'm always right. This isn't about confidence. It's about an unyielding ego, a refusal to entertain alternative perspectives or to admit error. A man who believes he is always right has ceased to learn, for learning requires the acknowledgement of what you don't yet know. This mindset creates isolation, pushing away those who might offer valuable insights or challenging perspectives. Imagine Robert, whose unwavering certainty in every opinion alienated colleagues and strained family relationships. No matter the topic, from politics to plumbing, Robert had the definitive answer. He rarely listened, never conceded a point, and scoffed at differing views. Over time, people stopped engaging him, not because he was right, but because he was exhausting and unapproachable. Marcus Aurelius, despite his immense power, was relentlessly self-critical and open to correction. He wrote in his Meditations about the importance of being receptive to truth, no matter its source. The Stoics championed intellectual humility, understanding that true wisdom comes from a continuous interrogation of one's own beliefs and a willingness to be corrected by reality. Knowing that you don't know is the beginning of wisdom. So rather than declaring, "I'm always right," a wise man says, "What can I learn from this perspective, even if I disagree?" This opens the door to understanding, fosters productive dialogue, and allows for intellectual growth. It transforms disagreement from a battle of egos into an opportunity for collective understanding. Now let's tackle the phrase that erodes connection and limits impact. It's not my problem. This sounds like setting healthy boundaries, but often it's a detachment, a refusal to extend empathy or take responsibility beyond the bare minimum. A man who lives by this line shrinks his sphere of influence, limiting his capacity for leadership and genuine contribution. He prioritizes comfort over contribution. Consider John, a technically brilliant engineer. If a colleague struggled with a non-technical issue, or a team problem arose outside his specific role, John would simply say, "That's not my problem." He excelled individually, but was a poor team player. Eventually, when leadership opportunities arose, he was overlooked, not for lack of skill, but for lack of willingness to own shared challenges. The Stoics believed in the concept of sympathia, the interconnectedness of all things. Marcus Aurelius taught that what injures the hive injures the bee. They understood that as rational beings, we have a duty to contribute to the common good and to help our fellow human beings. True strength isn't found in isolation, but in courageous engagement with the world around you. Instead of retreating with, "It's not my problem," a wise man asks, "How can I contribute to a solution, even in a small way?" This expands his sense of responsibility, fosters collaboration, and builds genuine respect. It shifts focus from avoiding inconvenience to embracing impact. Let's expose the deceptive promise of conditional contentment. "I'll be happy when." This phrase shackles happiness to future events, to external achievements, a promotion, a new car, retirement, a specific relationship status. It's a deferral of joy, a refusal to find peace in the present moment. A man who lives by this constantly chases a horizon that perpetually recedes, always seeking, never truly finding. Think of Sarah's father, who spent his entire career saying, "I'll be happy when I retire." He missed out on enjoying his family in the present, neglected hobbies, and postponed travel. When retirement finally came, he found himself restless and unfulfilled, because he had never cultivated the inner resources for happiness, always relying on an external condition. The Stoics emphasized finding contentment and virtue in the present moment, independent of external circumstances. Epictetus said, "Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will flow well." This isn't passive acceptance, but an active engagement with what is, finding meaning and purpose in the here and now. True happiness is an internal state, not an external destination. Rather than postponing joy with, "I'll be happy when," a wise man says, "What can I appreciate and act virtuously on in this very moment?" This anchors his peace in the present, allowing him to experience joy and purpose regardless of future outcomes. It shifts focus from a fleeting external reward to a sustainable internal state. Finally, we confront the most chilling whisper of all. What's the point? This isn't curiosity. It's the voice of apathy, resignation, and a profound loss of meaning. It's the ultimate surrender of purpose, a dismissal of effort, a quiet descent into nihilism. A man who consistently asks this question has stopped striving, stopped believing that his actions matter, and has begun to become invisible, not just to others, but to himself. Consider Alex, once a vibrant, ambitious individual. After a series of setbacks, he began to withdraw. When encouraged to pursue new goals, he'd respond with a listless, "What's the point? It won't make a difference anyway." His world shrunk, his relationships faded, and his spirit dulled, because he had lost faith in the significance of his own existence and efforts. For the Stoics, the point was always clear: to live in accordance with nature, to act virtuously, and to fulfill one's duties as a rational being. They believed that meaning isn't found, but made, through deliberate action and adherence to principles. Even in the face of immense suffering or apparent futility, a Stoic finds purpose in upholding his character. Seneca famously said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." The point is the struggle, the effort, the unwavering commitment to virtue. Instead of succumbing to the void of, "What's the point?" a wise man asks, "How can I act with integrity and contribute meaningfully, even in the face of uncertainty?" This reclaims purpose, reaffirms agency, and inspires resilience. It shifts focus from external validation to internal commitment, ensuring that every action carries weight and every effort holds meaning. Every man leaves a legacy, not just in his achievements, but in the echoes of his words. The truth is, people will judge you not by your intentions, but by the language that shapes your reality. These 6 phrases don't just sound unwise. They are the essence of self-limiting beliefs, woven into the fabric of your identity when repeated often enough. But here's the profound truth: your identity is not final. Not if you possess the courage to confront the unconscious patterns of your speech. Weakness isn't the enemy. The denial of weakness is. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. So if you speak like a victim, you will experience life like one. But if you begin to speak with clarity, with intention, with wisdom, even when no one else is listening, you begin to forge something far stronger than reputation. You build an unshakable character. A truly wise man doesn't speak to impress. He speaks with precision, with restraint, with deep awareness. And when he chooses silence, that silence carries the profound weight of inner strength. If this message resonated with you, let it. That's where the journey of growth truly begins.